Hello, one and all, and welcome back to Catalysts of Chaos. I'm your Dungeon Master, Dave. Join me as we once again tag along with our band of plucky adventurers and see what mischief they get up to. Now, without any further ado, let the chaos commence.
Like stupid two-letter words? Because
Like
Yeah,
a C word?
No, that's fine. WOFS, WOFs,
What?
was a legitimate thing on there, but apparently it's Aussie slang that stands for waste of fucking space.
I didn't think you were allowed to use
No.
acronyms or initialisms.
Me either, but apparently it was in there, so
Nice.
I got my W and my F on a triple word score.
Okay.
No worries. Okay, so it would be probably mid-morning at this stage of the day after you've all had a rather interesting evening, partying, dancing, drinking, eating copious amounts of food, or just skulking off into a corner somewhere. When Lucille, you would be woken by your mother shaking you awake.
What was it?
There's one of the guard at the door. Said you've
Oh.
been summoned.
Summoned? What the? What? It's like fall out of bed because it's a good meter off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
It's like clatter onto the floor. It's like scramble around, try and find my boots, etc.
Yep.
And realize, oh crap, I'm still wearing them.
Yeah,
It's
good.
It's like stagger my way bleary-eyed to the door, and it's like, boom. What do you want? Just looking directly in the waist.
Standing out there is one of the day shift guard, who sort of looks down at you with a look of... It's mild disdain, but there's definitely disdain there. As they just sort of stand there and look at you and go, "Get yourself cleaned up. Sergeant Carr wants to see you."
Who?
You know it as Henry.
Oh, right. Did he say why?
Just says he wants to see you. Something about a job.
Ah, tits. And then close the door in his face, stumble back inside, and plop myself down and have some breakfast.
Yep. So your mother at this point would be back in the kitchen.
Yep.
Probably cooking up more of her...
House famous pancakes.
Yeah, I was going to say famous, but not for the reasons that everyone thinks.
Oh,
No. Yeah. She'd have a couple on the table ready for you.
thanks, Mum. Just it's like grab the big jug of syrup, pour it over, fill the shift of weight, and I was like, oh shite. It's like you can use both hands on this one. Like, pour it over, drown it in entirety, put the jug back under the table, make sure I get an even coating of crispy charcoal bits all over the top, and then just slowly.
Yep.
It takes a good couple of minutes for me to get through the first one.
At this point, your mother would probably have finished with her morning batch of pancakes, and she'd be sitting over at an open window having a pipe. As all good gnomes do first thing in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
It's like, yeah, that reminds me. Reach back, check for my dog end.
Yep.
Pull it out.
Yep. Smoke in one side, shoving pancake in the other.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
It's a skill that I picked up somewhere.
Probably in your early 20s.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah. All right.
Spend the next however long scoffing my food down. Not necessarily rushing.
Yeah.
Because, bad for the digestion.
Eating on the quicker side, but not forcing yourself to be quick.
That's why I'm smoking and eating at the same time.
Yeah, no worries.
The Lucille version of rushing thing, I guess.
All right, and what are you going to be doing after that?
Probably, say, do I bathe, I think is the question. Say, say, pull on the rest of my uniform.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Catch you later, Mum. Thanks again.
Yeah, she just nods and gets up, goes over and starts making to clean up your plate and all that as you're heading off.
And I stagger out the door, quick shifty eyes around the place to see what's going on.
Mm-hmm. There is not much going on. Everyone's sort of a bit quiet this morning, still recovering from the night before, most likely.
Yeah, it's too daylight outside today.
It's an accurate
Even
way.
if it's dark, it's still too bright outside.
It's a relatively sunny day, so it would definitely be too bright for you.
Damn. Slowly meander my way to the barracks.
Yeah. All right, so as you make your way outside and start heading towards the barracks, making your way through the middle of town, Makarak, you probably would have been up relatively early this morning, considering, would you have been drinking the night before?
Probably not.
No. So yeah, unlike the rest of the people that have to recover, you're probably up relatively early, being that you'd be up with the dawn. What would you be doing for the morning's processions?
Are we all staying in the same location, or have these guys not actually noticed that I was standing in the background there yet? So I didn't really make myself noticed.
Kakran picked up that you were there for maybe 5 minutes or so, but then you sort of just disappeared again, and he just assumed that you were off doing whatever it is that you normally do. So
Snagged on a wall just after that too, didn't I?
yeah, you got put through a wall, so not entirely sure if you were really there or if he was just imagining stuff. So
Fair enough.
I would guess you would be having a room at the tavern, spending a little bit of time enjoying the comforts of being in the city again.
Probably. By this time, though, I'd probably be up. So, honestly, I'd probably be standing at the front, leaning up against the pole out the front of the tavern, just watching the comings and goings, waiting for one of these guys to come out.
No worries. So, watching the comings and goings, why don't you roll me a perception test and we'll see what you see.
Actually, 20. 20.
20.
Mm-hmm.
So, you spend a fair bit of time out the front of the tavern just watching. It's slowly getting busier as the day goes on, being that it's the middle of a relatively large festival. You watch as, merchants come and set up their stalls for the day. The crowd slowly grows in size and, intensity as people wake up from their night's festivities the day before and go back into the swing of things. You see tables being laden with mugs of ale and various other bits and pieces out the front of the tavern. One thing you do notice, though, is that it's probably a good couple of hours after you've originally decided to get up and just sort of sit and take in the surroundings. But you would see one of the people that seemed to be spending a fair bit of time with your friend Kakran, the little goblin, who making their way through the center of town, which what appears to be a certain look of, not necessarily diligence wouldn't be the right word, but purpose, I guess, is probably the best descriptor. A little gnome making their way quickly through the center of the market, heading towards from one side of the square to the other.
Coming this way?
No, not coming directly towards you, just moving through the square, but whereas everybody else is sort of meandering about, just sort of having a general look at everything, this one seems to be moving with a purpose.
A shifty purpose.
Yes.
Let's see if I can just quietly disperse into the crowd and
Yep.
start following him then.
Roll me a stealth test.
Stealth tests.
And roll me a perception, Lucille.
3, 1 perception, then a stealth.
No. So you need to do a stealth. Lucille needs to do a perception.
Right, yeah.
Lucille Inglebrook has no token in this scene.
Like,
I don't know.
you should still be able to roll, though.
17.
Oh, just on the wrong thing.
Yeah, nice.
17.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so as you make your way and disperse yourself into the crowd, it's a little difficult to track along behind them and keep up without making yourself too obvious, simply because they're moving with a fair bit of purpose, and you keeping pace with them is, a little bit, draws a little bit of attention to yourself. Not much that anybody else notices, but you do notice, Lucille, the shadow of somebody who's following you, essentially. You don't get a good look at them at any point, but you do see the same cloak seems to be, you turn around and, not necessarily turn around, but, as you're moving through the market, you might just stop at a stall to make it look like you're looking at something when you sort of glance behind you and you only ever see like a cloak or maybe a sleeve of a shirt or something like that, but it's always the same one.
Okay. It's like, Princess Sparkles. I kind of say quietly to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the rat goes, head pops up out of the front of my breastplate.
Yes.
It's like, looks me kind of in the side of the face.
Yep.
Like, see if you can get an eye on that fuck that's following me.
And she just sort of squeaks a little bit, jumps onto the table and makes her way down the leg onto the ground and just sort of disappears into amongst all the fabric and whatnot that's at this stall. Are you going to stay where you are and wait for her to come back, or are you going to sort of move along?
I'll move along, but I'll move a little bit slower this time.
Yeah.
Stagger a little bit as though I'm kind of hungover as well.
Yeah, and instead of just sort of moving along, maybe move to another stall or something along those lines?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
cool.
Chat up? Yeah, let's go with that. Chat up some of the people there, because I might be at least somewhat familiar with the people who are around.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. So, Macarac, roll another perception.
16.
16. All right, so yeah, good. Yeah, so you're there and you're easily able to keep an eye on the gnome, who appears to have just sort of stopped and is, well, they haven't stopped, but they've become distracted. They're talking to people now and, all that along that line. Yeah, but you don't really seem to notice anything else. What are you doing at this point? Are you just going to continue to observe them, or?
Yes, probably at the moment. That's what
Okay.
I'm thinking. I
All
can't
right.
see anyone else approaching them or anything like that, so...
No,
yeah.
they just appear to be making small talk with stall owners and what the like that they are sort of moving between.
Sure.
Yep. All right, so, Lucille.
Yes.
About 10 minutes it takes for Sparkles to sort of disappear off into the crowd and then come back to you. They just sort of come up and you feel this little scratch roll coming up your legs as they make their way up the inside of your pant leg. Yep. And there's, you just feel it as it comes up. It's a little unnerving, but you bear with it. It's not the first time this has happened. It's quite frequent, yeah. Until, the head, again, pops up out of the breastplate. And you get... It's not a voice. It's more like thoughts, but they structure themselves as like a sentence.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically... It's the way Princess Sparkles communicates with you, essentially, through her telepathy. And it's basically... Giant Birdman is following us.
Huh? What? What the fuck am I doing? Is that a fucking bird? What the fuck's a fucking Birdman? The fuck? What? Is it I'm the person who I was talking to at this point is just started looking at me like I'm a crazy person.
Slowly backing away a little bit and just sort of, if you could move along, please, ma'am. I've got to talk to some other customers. This sort of...
Yeah, whatever. Fucking bird people, piece of shit, etc., whatever.
They just look at you with this extremely confused look on their face.
At that point, I just said, "Oh, maybe I should get to the barracks."
Well,
Yeah,
it would be one of the
That's
safest
a good
places.
idea.
Yeah.
And I just move down the road a little bit, and then just piss bolts down the road to the barracks as quickly as I can.
No worries. All right, so Makarak, you're watching as you see the gnome immediately takes off again with that same moving with purpose as they were before. What are you doing?
Did I see him run off?
Not yet. They've just sort of moving off at this point. They'd be probably about 20 meters away from a turn in the road where the road continues to straight ahead or it turns off to the right.
Rightio. So I'm just trying to still get my head around this. The main reason I'm here was to meet up with a friend of mine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just keep following him for the time being.
Okay, no worries. So, at this point, you basically follow them along until you see them turn down this road and then just dart, like bolt. They start, pushing past people into the crowd and all that, making their way as fast down this road as they can.
And then turn off the road through what is possibly an alley or a gap between a couple of houses or whatever.
Are you going to continue, or are you just going to break off the pursuit at this point?
At this point, I will break off the pursuit.
Yeah.
I'm watching it, sort of one slightly raised eyebrow.
Yep. So you're basically just following this person because they look like they were heading somewhere with a purpose, and then they just sort of bolt off into the crowd. You just sort of raise an eyebrow. No idea what that's about. And start making your way back to the tavern.
Yeah, Macracker is basically bored right
Yep.
now. So he's just filling in time.
Yep. All right. At this point, both of our goblin friends, along with Azula, would be waking up in the church.
Oh, we're saying the church, that's right.
Yep.
Mhm.
You guys found your rest that evening in the chapel of Zanbayare, having been... You had beds there at the start of the evening, so you all ended up making your way back there at the end of the evening, and that's where you spent the evening. So, you'd all be woken to the sounds of, chimes ringing and the dull chanting of some kind of worship towards the deity that this temple is devoted to. For the goblins, it's probably not the best way to be woken up, but for Azula, it's quite pleasant.
Brother, make it stop.
I am the chosen one, you make it stop.
I have chosen you to make it stop. You have been chosen. Wait a second. Why do I have 3 socks? Wait, there's no doorknob here, right?
There is, in fact, no doorknob.
How many socks do you have?
Look at my big goblin toes.
None.
I lost my socks.
You lost your socks quite some time ago.
Why are none of these 3 socks mine?
Like this.
Outstanding.
Yes. Wait, I win! We made a game last night. Hey, Azula, next time you should play with us.
Azula is already out of bed. She is on the ground. She's doing her morning push-ups and workout routine.
Yep.
Gutsing down that water like you should in the morning. I think I did play. I believe I did play with you.
Excellent. How many socks do you have?
How many socks do I have?
You have 2, one on each of your feet.
I only have 2.
Haha, I win.
But you didn't lose either.
That's true. Again, is luck.
I
Okay.
didn't really understand the whole point of how we could get their socks. I mean, you guys snuck out a bit, and then you came back with more socks. I was asking people for their socks, and I didn't. People weren't giving me their socks. I don't know how you did it.
Well, see, the funny thing is, none of the socks were originally mine. These are all 3 new socks, and he tried to gamble for socks, and he lost them.
What do you do? Easiest way, go to a tavern, go along all the doorknobs. Easiest way. I should have. I didn't. I should have.
That is definitely one way to acquire socks.
Yes, excellent.
Anyway.
All right.
All right, spell preparation. I should probably do that thing too. I'm not doing push-ups though.
That's understandable. So you're going to go through and do your morning preparations. The monk and the paladin. I assume you're going to... Would you join in with Azula, seeing her do her morning exercises?
I was going to get to that, yes.
Okay.
Wait, how are you doing push-ups?
My strength isn't.
How are you doing it?
I'm doing normal.
Yeah.
I'm doing what considered male push-ups. Nothing
Yes.
fancy, no one arming, just normal.
Alright.
Yep.
Male push-ups.
I'm going to do mine on the knuckles.
Okay.
Just because I'm the chosen one.
You're stronger than me. It's fine.
I don't think I am.
I sit on his back and meditate whilst he's doing his push-ups.
Core training. It's excellent training.
It should be.
Yeah. Okay, so with that,
Brother, Azula, what are we doing today? I don't even know what spells to prep.
Well, it is the second day of the festivities, so we can see what type of entertainment is going on. Although I am running out of money, so I may need to look for work soon.
So we want flashy fun, not boom.
I don't think we would need boom.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
all right. So with that, you go through and do your morning preparations. You would also be brought some food, just your basic, a bread, a couple of slices of cheeses and meats, for your morning meal.
Special day.
Yeah, well, you are friends of one of the paladins of the order.
It is special.
At some point, you just touting that you're the chosen one is going to come back and bite you. And I will be there to make sure that it happens, just so you know.
Yeah.
Good. All right.
I know what I'm doing.
Excellent. Well, as long as you're fully aware. Okay, so, but with that, your morning preparation's complete. The day is yours at this point to be able to go and do with what you will. So where are you heading to from here?
What we're going to do today?
Well, I'm actually going to do some praying at the moment. There's morning services happening, so I'm actually going to go and join that. I haven't done it the last 2 days, or on my trip. So I'm going to go to service, actually. You can come along. You can listen to the word of the people who have given you a bed and food for the night.
I'll check it out.
Okay. So Azula's going to go...
I'll experience this.
Yeah, this, and just sort of gestures at the temple. What is Kara doing at this point?
Kara is trying to pick her most flashy spells or things that could be used to make money.
Okay.
Was she saying that in character?
Yes, because they asked me if I was joining them before they left.
That's a valid point, because it probably only take you guys about 20 minutes to do your morning preparations, whereas it takes her nearly an hour, so... She's probably still in the middle of her meditations whilst you guys are finished and ready to go at this point.
Yeah, I imagine you guys would ask me, and that would be my response. Wait, do you guys want something that makes me be able to lift really heavy things so I can flip you higher? Okay, I will take that.
All right. So, at this point, Lucille, you would arrive at the barracks.
Feeling panicky and a little out of breath.
Yep. You notice that your tail has vanished. I don't know if that makes you more or less calm considering the situation.
I was hoping the rat was going to keep an eye out for me.
Would you leave her to follow behind you? Or
No, as in she'd be sitting kind of
on your shoulder?
over my shoulder. Yeah.
If that was the case, she would have noticed that they would have stopped.
Probably would have told me, but I probably wouldn't have stopped running.
Yeah, no. They did lose sight of them as you went around the corner, so
Good.
but they didn't look like they were making any sort of moves to follow you in any serious way.
That's still slightly concerning.
Yes. All right.
Now that I'm here, is the area bustling like it was previously?
It is fairly busy because the barracks is on the main route between the market and the eastern gate. So it is relatively busy because it is the main thoroughfare between where you can get alcohol and where the entertainment is happening.
So my usual 3-point rotation.
Yes, pretty much.
Work, food, grog.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah, okay. Well, since I'm now at the barracks, I just give a casual look around, make sure that there's no one who's going to potentially ask me to do anything, and just casually walk inside, beads of sweat down my face, breathing heavily, but trying not to show it. My nose, nostrils flaring with the
Yeah, good.
get inside, hover him like behind one of the entrance ways in the dark and just recover for a bit. Keep looking out the doorway to see if anyone was following me. Don't see anybody.
Nah, you don't see anybody at this point.
Good. And then I try to remember where Henry's office is.
Listen to the door. Because they keep coming through.
Why? God damn it. I open one thing and it's the end of the universe.
Upstairs somewhere, probably.
So yeah, basically both of the sergeants have a office downstairs.
Okay.
So there's the way the barracks is built, there's sort of like a main it's sort of like a just general, it's a mix of a semi-armory. They wouldn't have any of the weapons out here, but they'd have couple of bits of armor and some shields. It'd also be an area where there'd be a couple of tables where people can sit and rest after they've just come back in from a patrol.
Okay.
As well as two of the both the sergeants have an office here. There's Sergeant Carr, who is the one that, Henry, as you were referring to him the day previous.
Yes.
And the other sergeant is the one that you were here to see yesterday.
Yeah.
So, at this point, you basically go up to the other office. Or not the one that you went to yesterday, but the one that you're going to today. And what are you doing?
Is there anyone like lining up at the door or anything like that?
Nobody's lining up at the door. The door is ajar, which usually indicates that, if you have business with, Henry, he's available to be to speak to.
All right. Do the courteous thing, and it's like bang, bang on the door and kind of edge it open and then kind of sidle my way through it.
Yep. So you slam on the door twice, essentially, and it opens most of the way up. And as you'd bang the second time, you'd hear an enter from inside from Henry.
So step in, close the door. Sergeant.
Lucille. Excellent. I wasn't expecting you for at least another hour.
Yeah, there was extenuating circumstances.
Anything that we should be worried about?
Maybe. There's a bird man in the city. Dark following me.
Haven't heard of one of their type being here in quite some time.
You know of bird people?
Well, there is a species of bird people called the Astellari.
Doesn't sound familiar.
Fair enough. They are very common. mostly stick to an island somewhere in the south.
Yeah.
They do occasionally come to the mainland, but most of the time they're usually outcasts.
Right. Don't know.
Did you have a meeting with them, or
What?
did you have a run-in with them, or?
No, just walking on my way here, noticed a dark bird man shape follow me through the square.
Right. I'll let the guards know to keep an eye out, but...
Right.
Yeah. Anyway. I have a job for you.
Attempt to stand up straighter, but fail. Because I'm 3 feet tall.
Nuts. Although, not necessarily just for you, as it were. I noticed you've been keeping some interesting company over the last day or two.
Look, me and Turner are just good mates, okay? We've known each other for like 20 years. He's a good friend, nothing more.
I'm not talking about Turner. I don't care
Okay.
that you have dealings with Turner. Helps
Alright,
us.
because, for me and him, it is purely platonic.
I mean, if it wasn't, I would say that you probably need to get a better pedigree of companion.
You mean like a dog?
That would probably be a step up, yes.
All right, I'll make a note of it.
No.
My invisible note pad and start writing it down with my invisible pen.
Yeah, nice. He sort of watches you for a half a second with that uncomfortable look that he gives you whenever you're doing something a little bit weird or slightly shady or anything like that. Because of the two sergeants, he's the more straight and narrow one.
All right.
Yep.
Like, put the invisible pen away, tear off the invisible page, put the notebook away, hand the invisible page to Princess Sparkle and say, "Here, remember this." And say, "Eek." And then disappears back down.
Yep. All that entire time, he's just standing there with like a raised eyebrow and a slightly concerned look on his face as if he's not entirely sure if you should be here in the guard or in an asylum somewhere.
Hey, 6 of one.
Yeah, wow. Half dozen the other. Anyway, that's not the company I was referring to.
Oh?
No. A couple of the other guards have mentioned, and, well, I saw yesterday that you're hanging around with rather odd group. A couple of goblins and a champion? Some kind of holy lady.
Yeah, they needed an escort.
Well, the goblins I can understand, but the holy lady? How do you explain that one?
Oh, she was there.
Right. Were the goblins pestering her?
I want to say yes, but no.
Okay. Well, I fought 2 of them yesterday.
Hmm?
They were in the melee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes, well. How much did you make?
only a silver.
Better than not.
Yeah, it's the end of the month.
Yeah. Anyway. I fought 2 of them. Seem like they can hold their own. I want to offer them a job. Same one I'm getting.
Eyebrow?
Yeah, the same one I'm offering you.
Okay.
I just feel like you might need some backup, and they seem like they can hold their own.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate.
And seeing as you seem to be acquainted, it'll make it a little less awkward.
Yeah. Yeah, a little less awkward. Let's go with that. We're good mates.
I don't need you to be mates, I just need you to come back after the mission.
Oh, thank fuck for that.
Yeah, good. Alright, I need you to go to Ashbourne.
Who?
Ashbourne. The next town along the road to Iron Point. You would know it as...
Hang on. Is this... Wait, hang on a second. This sounds familiar. The caravan disappearances and such on the ways.
Not 1, 4.
Or, fuck.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. We've had 4 caravans disappear. Well, 4 caravans that were slated to be here have not showed up. They were all most likely to be taking that road. Not to mention there was a 5th caravan that was attacked. They made it because they had a bit heavier of an escort.
Are they about to talk to?
Yeah, if you find them in town, they should be there. Mercenaries go by the Black Scale.
Black Scale, right. I know. It's being stupid. Black Scale, yeah, gotcha.
They should be able to tell you some more details, although they did mention something about undead, which is concerning.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I don't like it either. Hence why you should probably take the Holy Lady with you.
That's a good idea.
So, basically, I want you to go to Ashbourne, find out what's happening. It seems to be somewhere around there is where all this is going down.
Right.
The caravans seem to be able to make it to Ashbourne, but then we lose them somewhere between there and here.
Okay. No. Forgot my question.
Okay. Well,
just leave.
As soon as you can, because most of the caravans that came here are going to go back to town that way.
Oh, crap.
I would like to get this sorted as soon as possible.
Right you are, boss. I mean, Sergeant.
Boss works. It's essentially accurate.
Yeah. That's definitely the word I use to talk to my superiors.
Look, I know you're not exactly the most honourable individual.
Hey, that's a slanderous lie.
What was that about the company you keep?
You mean the rat?
The rat is a step up from the company you keep.
Hey, yeah, the goblins are pretty bad, but hey, they're not as bad as a rat. No offense.
None taken.
Then Princess Sparkles bites me. Ow, frick.
But I would like this sorted as soon as possible.
Right. Yeah, I'll get onto that. At once.
Of course, there will be monetary compensation on top of your normal wages.
Ooh, I don't know how much I get paid.
Oh, probably about a couple of silver a week, so between 2 and 3 silver a week, depending on
God, shit.
how much overtime you do.
Too much and not enough at the same time.
Especially this time of year. Yeah.
All right, well, I'll get out of your hair then.
No worries. Just report back to me or Sarge as well. I've already given him the heads up, so he knows what's going on. He knows to keep an eye out for if you return and I'm not available.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Good. Thank you. Salute. And then leave as quickly as possible.
No worries.
Then panic and go, shit, what do I do? Wait, I know what to do. And then I run home as quickly as I possibly can.
No worries. All right. So, Makarak, at this point, you would be probably back out the front of the tavern again, having not found any of your goblin friends and growing impatient of them, basically just leaving you to wait for their convenience.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing at this point?
Probably trying to decide if it's worth just picking up work here and heading off, basically.
Yeah, fair.
Clearly he's busy.
So, how would you be trying to find work if that's the case?
Well, I know what my profession is, so I'll go and look
Indeed.
and see if there are any bounties.
Yep. Bounties. There would be a bounty board in the middle of town. Probably out the front of the tavern, actually, where you're standing.
Sure.
So there would be a couple on there at the moment. There'd be a few that look like they've been put up in the last few days, which is basically caravans looking to hire on a couple of extra mercenaries. There would also be what looks to be an old piece of paper. Looks like it's been there for quite a while. A man local to the area by the name of Robert is seeking a company of adventurers to go on some kind of exploration. Doesn't have many details. Another one that looks like it's been a bit more recently, but probably still a little bit aged. A noble woman by the name of Amor is looking for some adventurers to rescue a fine damsel in distress.
Is it Lucille?
It is, in fact, not Lucille. As well as your usual bounty for, say, it wouldn't be goblins because they're actually not outlawed in the area. It would be kobolds here, actually. They're a problem in the mountains normally. So yeah, there'd be a bounty of probably a silver per goblin here. Not goblin. Sorry, it's just so standard. It's normally goblins, whereas now it's kobolds.
I find that really offensive.
Although you do have 2 silver on your head.
Where?
But yeah, that's basically what's on the bulletin board.
Okay, I'm gonna go talk to this. What was the one for the damsel in distress?
It was a noble woman by the name of Amor.
I'm assuming there are details there to contact them.
Yes, if you are interested in taking up the job, then you need to head to the castle in town where they are currently staying.
Sure. All right, he'll head that way.
No worries. Right. Now, over back to, as you sort of just make that decision and head off towards the castle to make your way up there, be it probably a fair bit of a walk to get up there as it is on the outskirts of town. So, you sort of slowly make your way meandering through the busy streets of the city. We'll switch back over to the goblins. Now that Kara has finished her morning preparations, and the other 2 have finished their service for the day, what are you doing from here?
Think.
I'd press the thing to talk.
Oh, yes. So what do you think?
It was very serviceable. Yes.
Did you take anything from the stories that were told?
I stole nothing.
What?
I came in with this.
You came with barely anything.
And suddenly
Just
he's...
anything.
Excellent.
Moving on. It was interesting.
Okay. I'll take what I can get.
You will.
So did you have any plans that you wanted to see while we were here?
We did. And I've forgotten them. It was a lot of drinking over the last 2 days.
Yeah.
My sister keeps notes. I keep other things. This is fine.
So, Kara, you're finished now?
So Kara would stand up for her meditation. Luke, you might want to unpress the push to talk for a second. Yeah. Yep, so Kara would stand up and look around and realize that the usual pouring that is there to tell her to hurry up from Floxy isn't about. So she sort of hops up and goes, "Where exactly did my little fox go? This is very odd." So she hops up and starts patting around, trying to find where her fox has gone, and ends up finding Floxy in the sick room with the other patients, being an absolute attention whore for all of the love and pats from the sick and invalid people there, with her few words of, "More pats? Can I have hugs? You guys are so sweet." All right, that's enough of that. Come on, we have things to do. Okay, we can stay a little bit longer. Okay. And so she'll wander around with Floxy and spend a bit of time with people until the others come and find her.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too much longer after you'd probably found Floxy in there. They'd probably come looking for you at this point because Takran has no memory of what he was here for. Do you have any memory of what he's here for?
He would need to ask me.
What were our plans again? I am still a little off from losing the socks.
That is okay. Every issue you face, Chosen One, will make you stronger for the oncoming storm of life. Which is also why we're here.
There's a big goblin toes. Did I have shoes when we came in here?
I don't know. I don't spend forever looking at your feet.
I don't ever remember seeing you having shoes on. Or socks.
I'm sure it's fine.
Only a loincloth.
I'm still on that.
Yes, you do.
That's the only
Thankfully.
thing I remember you actually having.
Yeah, well, really all I'm wearing is loincloth and like some wrappings up the arms.
Did you check to see if your socks are in the loincloth?
Are they in the loincloth is the question of the day.
There is nothing that should not be in there.
Including our coins?
Yes,
Excellent.
I am taking notes on what we were doing here.
We came here with the dwarves. Remember, you were told by your church or monk that your secret squirrel business that you had to get more experience in life. And that we wanted to come and party. So we came with the dwarves I've been living with, and now we're here. What do you want to do?
Silence as he just stares off into the abyss.
Eyes slightly crossed and glaze over.
Would you like me to make some more tea?
Isn't that nighttime drink?
Oh, I'm not having any.
Oh,
It's nighttime somewhere.
yeah, I guess. Oh, and I wanted to talk to Speedy Man from Tournament.
Yeah,
Tournament.
you have no idea what his name is.
No, but I saw him running around.
You did.
We should probably talk to someone maybe at the bar.
It's an option.
I mean, is there... There'd be a place announced, like, where the...
The sign-up sheet.
Yes, that's what I was after. Like, if we go back there, we could probably track down... He made it to the semi-finals, so there'd probably be a name scrawled somewhere, right?
Either that or the bookies.
I mean, the bookies would definitely know who he is.
Yeah, that's the easiest way. Yep, okay, we have a plan.
Excellent.
Well, I do also want to find out the name I want to find Lucille, because then they can introduce me to the Henry folk who I fought who we fought the other day, and I would love to spar with him again or get some pointers perhaps. So
Well, the barracks is in that general direction, so
yes, well, maybe you could introduce me. I know that he's an important person in the town guard. I don't know exactly his position, but yeah. So Lucille could.
Isn't wait,
No,
he or she?
The person in charge. I know that Lucille is a town guard, but I don't know the person who I fought yesterday, what their position is, but they seem to be a bit higher. So,
All
yes.
I know is that Lucille said some very nice things to that person, so clearly they are friends.
I think we were hearing some different things from the heckling, but
No, the one that they shouted out at the end before they went into the final fight was very, very sweet and kind.
I think I was a bit too focused at that time to really hear anything.
Yes, clearly they must have a very respectful and loving friendship or relationship.
yes, of course.
Also, I wouldn't mind getting a book about some gods. All I really know is my gods from back home. I'm not so keen on your one. It's a bit too.
Oh, well,
Very high pitched.
Okay.
that's fine.
And the bells.
You take
The
offense
bells!
to the bells.
Yes, I want something that's a bit more chill, a bit more down for tea, something with a bit of love, maybe like, a bit of like dreams and oracles and that sort of thing. You know any gods like that?
Let's just get to a book. I thought, by being here a bit, you might be able to get a bit more experience of the church, and
Oh yes, the idea of a church is very good. I just don't want this one.
what? Then, yep, I
What?
can't. Yep, that's fine.
As it
do
says,
your own research. I encourage it.
I'm still quite happy to help. Sorry, Kakran.
as I have said, I need to gain worldly experience. I've experienced this, and we can move on.
It was only one sermon.
And we can move on to the barracks.
Very good. We should collect our belongings and go.
Alright, so at this point, the goblins have basically made up their mind, so they quickly jump over, grab all of their minimal worldly belongings that they carry with them at all times, and Floxy probably jumps up under the hat before they start to immediately make their way out of the temple.
I gently pat an old lady's hand that Floxy had been on her lap before she jumps up onto my hat and say, "Good luck, Renna," and leave.
They just sort of slowly wave at you from the bed. Is Azula following the goblins is the real question.
Well, we're heading the same direction, so she will be. But
Cool.
she waves goodbye to her friends and be like, I should be back later.
Yeah, they just sort of nod and go back to doing their daily business. So as you sort of come out onto the street and the bright light blinds you for half a second, as even from inside with all the windows and everything inside the temple, it's still a lot darker than it is out here at this time of the day. Makarak, roll me another perception test.
That is 17.
All right. So as you're making your way out of the main courtyard area and starting to head towards where the castle of town is, you sort of have a cursory glance at your surroundings as you're making your way through town, and you notice out of the front of the temple is coming two little goblins, as well as what appears to be an elf in chainmail. And one of the goblins you instantly recognize as your friend that you're here to supposed to be catching up with.
Have they noticed me yet?
It does not appear they have, no.
I'm going to stand there and look really obvious and just see if they notice or if they go past again. If they go past again, hell with it. I'm on my way. I'm going on.
Nice.
Start dancing the YMCA.
Yeah. So Makarak just literally stands in the middle.
I literally put my feet apart and spread both arms so my wings almost come out. But I'm quite clearly spread apart with both hands on my hips, essentially. So the cloak is fully spread out here.
No worries. All right. Now, Kakaran, roll me a perception test.
I'm excited for a nat 1, so he doesn't see the bird spreading.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. Oh, hey, you didn't roll terribly. All right, so with a 19, as you walk out of the front of the temple and have a cursory look around your surroundings, you instantly notice the now unhooded figure of your friend that had accompanied you for most of the first leg of your journey from the monastery to the mainland.
Oh no, the hood's still on.
Oh, the hood's up? Okay. But you definitely notice the piercing yellow eyes that are just staring at you. And it's probably in that moment you realize, oh yeah, we were supposed to meet up here like yesterday.
Did Kara know Makarak? I thought it was just Kakra.
You would know him in passing. You wouldn't necessarily know him very well personally. You would know him and Kakaran get along very well, but you wouldn't necessarily know him very well. Yes, so...
sister, you know that thing that I was forgetting that we were supposed to be doing in here?
I dare not question you, Chosen One. I'm sure you know everything you need to know.
I have remembered everything I need to remember. Wave and sort of scuttle on over.
All I heard was bah and scuttle.
So you're going to recognize me finally.
Now, I make direct eye contact and start blinking rapidly.
And I promptly break out into a screeching laugh.
Nice. And it's at this point you remember why you hung around him so much. Yep.
I see you have still much to learn.
I mean, is my accent getting better at least?
I don't know. You haven't tried the accent.
Anyway.
It is good to see you anyway, my friend. Even if we are, 24 hours overdue.
There was a big melee, and you know how my sister is all impulsive, so we had to go check it out.
Indeed.
Where
and how are you all off to? Oh, I should probably introduce myself. Does everybody here know who I am?
No, but apparently you were supposed to meet my brother 24 hours ago. Sometimes the Chosen One is so overwhelmed by his choosing that he cannot remember anything else. So it's probably best to let me know so I can help guide him on his path to the shit he's supposed to actually fucking do.
Raises an eyebrow. Chosen One?
Surely he has told you many, many times that he is the Chosen One.
He just clicks his beak slightly.
See, he remembers.
Okay then.
Yeah, good.
He sort of bows slightly, sweeping his wings back. I am Makarak of Astara. I believe your brother... Sorry, I'm reading something in the background here as well. Your brother was familiar with me, even if he's acting a little strange. I guess that's to expect of the Chosen One. Still gives you an odd look. You know that look that birds quite often give you if they're turning their head to a side and eyeballing you with one eye? Same sort of look I'm giving him.
Yeah.
I've grown accustomed to this over my time in the temples.
Yeah, understandable.
Yes, I am familiar with your concept. Wait, how many eyes do you have under that hood?
Are you leaning forwards, or are you literally just asking?
No, literally. So she would come up, and there'd be like that glint of the extra eye as you're doing the thing, and she would just sort of walk up, right up close to you, and look up into your hood and be like, "How many eyeballs do you have?"
Looking directly into
It's-
his beak.
You'd be seeing 4 glints pointing back at you.
Do you respond with words?
Nope, I just blink all 4 of them, one after the other. From one side of my head across to the other.
That is a very neat trait. I like it.
Hello, my name is Azula, by the way. It
Oh,
is-
Makarak, sorry, the demon lady. She has weird eyes too. Please meet Azula. I'm sorry, Azula.
I go out to shake your hand, or
Appendage.
Puts out a hand and shakes it. A pleasure, I'm sure. Where are you all off to this fine morning?
We are on our We are on our way back to the where the melee was held, past the barracks. There's someone I need to someone else I need to track down real quick.
Sorry, I didn't get that last bit. What was that?
A lot of yelling in the background. There was someone else I wanted to catch up to as well today. Hopefully, maybe, possibly. We'll see.
As always, you are acting slightly confused. That is okay. It appears I'm going to take on a bounty of some sort, so I have people to see as well. Should we make another time to meet up, or do you want me to accompany you?
What sort of bounty? We are a little short-changed at the minute.
Something about a damsel in distress, and a certain noble woman is looking for someone to engage in an adventuring party. Now you know as much as I do.
There was no mention of payment or reward.
I was on my way there to find out.
Well, Azula also wants to meet someone where we're going, so she's had to go to the bathroom, and I don't know how to talk for her.
Yes, I think we were looking for a little gnome.
A little, female gnome. Talks very rough, yes?
Yes.
A strange lump in her clothing.
You mean the rat? That's
Oh, is that
Princess.
what it was?
It's Princess Sparkles.
He
Yes,
gives
we
you
have
that look again and clicks his beak.
Just like this is Floxy. And I take off my hat and do a little bow as you see the flying firefox on my head. Looks like a fennec fox with wings.
Uh-huh. In any case, I think I saw her heading towards points in the direction. That way.
As you point in that general direction, Lucille, you're making your way back towards the way you've come, heading back to your house.
Yep.
And in that passage, you have to basically go past the temple. And as you're making your way there, you sort of stop as you see 2 people that you recognize. One is Azula. The other is, from the description, a birdman in a hood.
It's like, crap, mixed emotions. It's like, person I need to talk to, person I don't want to see. Just, I'll observe the situation going on, so kind of scoot off to one side, maybe beside a stall, and kind of eyeball the situation, see the tone of the interaction.
Yeah. So you watch for maybe a couple of minutes or something along those lines, as they seem to be just having a pleasant conversation when the hooded figure that you recognize as the one that was following you this morning sort of points down towards the road, in your general direction.
Fuck! Duck! I'll probably swear a little bit too loud so that's loud enough for them to hear.
Yeah. All right. So basically, everyone roll perception checks apart from... And then Lucille, instead of a perception check, roll a stealth test. We'll see how this goes.
14's not bad.
I'm definitely seen.
Yep. So basically, Makarak, as you sort of point in the general direction towards where you saw the gnome run off this morning, you hear a "fuck," and you all sort of look in that direction to see Lucille, who's ducked down. Well, in her description, she's probably ducked down behind like a stall or something like that. You can clearly see the top of her head, as she's only ducked down halfway.
Ah, Lucille. There you go, the other one we had to meet.
Yes, that's her. Keeps pointing right at her.
Who? Where? And I turn and look in the opposite direction because
Yes.
I rolled a nat 1.
Nice.
Floxy got a 15 to hear, so I just get distracted by hearing, she's over that way.
Can I still
Which
see
way?
them looking in my direction?
Yes, so as you sort of like crouch there, you sort of hazard a look up and you see that basically everyone but Kara, including the fox, is staring at you.
I
Shit.
spin car 180 degrees.
Good work, chosen one.
Is everyone copacetic?
That is definitely a word. Yes.
Gesundheit.
I duck back down again. See, Princess Sparkles, what the hell is going on?
I mean, I'm good to start heading over in that direction.
I mean, they look like they're friends. Yeah, that's a good point. Are you guys friends?
Still a little iffy on the demon lady, but she's all right.
Yeah, she's not bad.
That scream in the background is perfectly
Perfectly timed.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, well, he's friends with him, and she's not too bad. She's an alright drinking buddy.
Okay. Is there a sense motive or anything like that with any of this, or is that not
Diplomacy.
diplomacy?
Yep.
It's like, ooh. I was like, let's do that. See if I can ascertain whether this is a bad situation for me or not. Ooh, a +1. Hey, 16.
They all seem to... The Birdman and the male goblin, Kakaran, that you've sort of been spending a bit of time with, obviously seem to be well associated. They have that, way of interacting each other with. They've become quite accustomed to each other's company and all that. And the other two don't seem to be giving him any sort of, birth or anything. Yeah, there's no hostility there at all whatsoever, so...
I casually just step out from my hiding place.
Yep.
As though I meant to do that. So duck down and hide in plain sight. And casually walk towards them, kind of skirting around, giving the Birdman the side eye.
Lucille, I was looking for you. Anyway, it's good that we meet.
What did I do?
Oh no, I was just wondering if you could introduce me to Henry.
Yeah, I can do that. Give me a minute. I gotta go home first. Gotta go see me mum. Wait here or at the pub or something, I don't know. I'll find you, maybe. Hang on. Take the rat. Oi, Princess Sparkles. Yeah, just wait with him. lands on the ground because she can't fly. And just scurries over and then it scuttles up the inside of your pant leg. Yep.
Yeah, up Azula. Yeah.
Up Zilla. It is unpleasant.
I go to grab Princess Sparkles to put them on my shoulder.
Yeah. She'd climb up into you.
Oh, look, I have an animal buddy too now, Kara.
And then I piss bolt away.
Matching. It's all right, Princess Sparkles. I don't think he'll leave you.
So, barracks or pub?
Do you think we scared away Lucille? They wanted to go very quickly.
Well, if Lucille likes Princess Sparkles as much as I like my lovely Floxy, she wouldn't have let you hold on to her unless she was definitely coming back.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No, of course I'd never leave you like that. Why would you say that? Of course, no.
I mean, I don't really keep pet rats.
No, just the anyway.
I mean, I don't know that many gnomes either.
So why would I give you to the demon lady? Yes, she's collected the rat, doesn't mean she can collect you. Okay, I love you too. What?
Nothing.
All right.
I promise.
So, Lucille immediately ducks away to make off to her house to talk to her mother for a moment. What are the rest of the gang doing?
Well, you mentioned something about a bounty.
Yes, it's up at the castle.
Alright. Castle, bounty. Make some of that money back. We're all pretty broke at the moment.
Lucille said that she'd find us. Okay.
All right. So with that, the rest of you just sort of start heading towards where the castle is, being towards the back of town and away from most of the festivities. You make your way towards through the bustling streets, making your way further and further through. As you go, the houses slowly get more and more extravagant, going from just standard, housing for the standard folk of the town up to, small independent houses that'd hold like a family, up to out the front of, there's probably this one street in town where there'd be like two smaller manors either side that lead up to a large wrought iron gate that leads into the castle grounds. The gate
I haven't
is
been here for a very long time.
and the gate is currently closed.
I mean, can we open it?
No. You walk up and there is currently a lock on the front gate.
Is there like a doorbell or some such device to indicate that one has arrived outside the gates?
No, but as you're standing there, you see an individual sort of walks past in the same garb that Lucille tends to be wearing, indicating that they're a member of the guard. And as they sort of walk across, they sort of move over towards you, looking at you in a little bit of a questioning manner.
And we just got to get in. Do you know who has the key?
Macrack just hangs his head for a moment. Guardsman, we are here about the bounty for Lady Insert Name here.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, the governor and all his guests have headed to the joust for the day, and they are unable to be spoken to at the moment due to enjoying the festivities.
Rosa.
Well, that's fair. I understand.
It's expected that they should be back at the manor on a more permanent basis at the conclusion of the festivities in 2 days.
Thank you for the information, sir.
He just nods and stands there, just waiting if there's any more questions.
So,
We could go
Back
and
to
see the
town.
joust. We didn't get to do that yesterday because we were in the melee competition.
I guess. Wonder if I can give it a go.
No, it's only for nights.
Sorry, I think I let go.
It's only
From
for
what
nights.
I understand in your efforts yesterday, your reach still exceeds your grasp.
I mean, I did punch through smart ass's shield. That was satisfying. Rubs side of chest. And I guess face and shoulder.
Yeah, there's still that little bit of a phantom pain from where you had a broken rib yesterday.
3.
Yeah.
That was rough.
I'm just happy that I managed to take down the guy with the magic rapier.
Was it magic? Oh.
Oh yeah, it was magic. Not very strong, but still magic. Also, Kakran, when is my head supposed to be done? Is that today or tomorrow?
I believe that was this afternoon.
Excellent. All right.
So to the joust.
To the joust, I think.
It has been chosen.
All right. And with that, the group sort of turns around, a little bit disheartened at being unable to inquire about the bounty, but heading towards the joust. It'd be about this time that Lucille would arrive back home.
It's like cursing silently under her breath.
Yep.
Just like grab the door. It's like twist the knob, push, twist it further, push, twist it back the other way, open the door. Say, Mum.
What?
Oh, thank fuck. I mean, thank goodness you're here. Look, got good news and bad news. Right. The good news, there's like a stack of silvers in the bottom of the syrup jug.
Why would there be silver in the bottom of the syrup jar?
That's not important right now. Right. The bad news is
That seems pretty important. We could have used that a month ago.
Yeah, we didn't have it a month ago.
Okay.
Right. I need you to take that silver and Casper and head south.
Okay, why?
And then I rattle off what I understand about the situation that I'm being forced into, which is, I'm assuming, north.
It's east, mostly.
Close.
Yeah.
South is towards Brixton, yeah?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Good. The direction I wanted to go.
Yep.
Okay, right. So basically, under situation, caravans, etc., bad stuff happening, being sent there, might die, but potentially could end up with a lot of money.
Yeah, no, that sounds like an idea that I don't want to be involved in.
Yep, good.
Yep, no worries.
Right. Love you, Mum.
Love you too. Oh, that's not good.
No, that doesn't feel right.
No, not even slightly.
I give her a handshake and then...
Yeah, yes. Yep.
It's just like one of those awkward, it's like grab the hand once, shake, let go, feel weird, nod, and then leave and bolt back up towards the center of town from where I came.
Yep. So you start making your way back up, and making your way quickly through the various people that have congregated on the main roads. Are you heading anywhere in particular?
Probably to Turner's warehouse.
Yep. It wouldn't take you long to get there. The roads are relatively empty towards Turner's warehouse, so yeah.
Right. So went up the gate, just say, right, yep, here to see the boss.
Yeah, they let you in, no dramas.
And I move as quickly as I can, while also probably quite out of breath.
Yeah, fair enough.
Get to the top of the stairs, it's like donk donk on the door.
Yeah, you'd probably be right until you get to the stairs.
Get to the stairs, get 3 steps up, it's like, oh god, that was a bad idea.
Yeah, but you finally do make it to the top and knock a couple of times on the door. You hear...
He can hear the wheezing coming from the other side.
Lucille, are you alright?
Yeah, I'll be fine. Sorry, nothing a little smoke won't fix.
Yeah, you see him quickly reach over the other side of the table and pulls out a chair for you to sit down on.
Yeah, thanks. It's like, climb up, sit down. Ugh. Oh, is your office usually this sparkly?
I wouldn't call this sparkly.
All right, so it's just me then. Right, give us a second. It's like, take a minute or so to regain my breath and some semblance of ability to talk.
Yep. You sort of watch as he comes around the table looking a little bit concerned, but it might not necessarily be the first time he's seen you like this. And as he does, he pulls out a flask from inside his doublet, hands it to you.
Like, thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
That's interesting.
It's whiskey.
Yep, not used to that.
Is that because it's good stuff?
Yep,
Yeah, I thought so.
needs more turpentine.
No, it really doesn't.
No,
That's-
disagree.
That stuff will kill you.
Good.
Anyway, what are you doing here?
Look, well, I guess good news and bad news. The good news is I'm here to warn you. The
Warn
bad-
me or what?
Right, there's the bad news. There's words of undead infestation potentially up east. You know, the road that all them caravans been coming down, bunch of them been disappearing.
Been good for business, that has.
Yeah, but it's potentially not good for living.
No, I can see how the undead would not be good for the continued existence of the town. What are you proposing?
Well, I'm proposing that I am being sent that way.
Ah, you've been volunteered, I take it.
Yeah, whatever the word is, I've been given a job. Oh, that tastes awful.
That doesn't sound like you at all.
I know.
What do you
Must be
want from... Yeah, what do you want from me then?
I don't know.
Oh, you just come to let me know the situation.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah. I have sent me mum southwards to Brixton, but just in case. But I mean, instead of payment, which you definitely don't pay me to do anything for you.
I've never paid you in my life.
No one ever has. Yeah, that sounds about right. If you could do me a favor, maybe send a couple of blokes with her. Make sure she gets there without too much harassment.
Tell you what, I got a caravan that's heading south in a couple of days. Tell her to fucking meet the boys at the front of the tavern. Yeah, probably 7 o'clock in the morning. They'll take her south with them and they'll make sure she's looked after.
Right. Thanks, bloke.
No worries.
Now, if you excuse me, I've got some weirdos to find.
All right.
That might be a weird way of saying I'm here to find myself, but, whatever. I don't have to leave.
Yeah, he just sort of salutes you with the flask and takes a sip of it as he sort of goes down. And you see him, as you're just leaving, you see him sit down and he sort of steeples his fingers and sort of like has this very deep in thought look on his face.
Yep, that's what I thought. Give him a wave and then disappear out the door.
Yeah, he just sort of absentmindedly half waves towards you as you make your way down the stairs and out towards back into the road.
It's like, right. Where's it going?
I don't know. The rat.
The rat.
Funnily enough, you know the direction the rat is. They're currently on one of the main thoroughfares between your home and the market.
Good. Vroom. More or less make my way to that general direction.
Yep. The group would just be making, a more standard pace, so it wouldn't take you too long to catch up to them, probably just as they're about to make it into the market itself. The group would hear this heavy breathing and coughing coming from behind them as you'd sort of you'd all sort of stop and turn around with inquisitive looks on your faces as a rather out of breath and somewhat visibly perspiring Lucille appears behind you through the crowd as people are sort of making room for her as she moves through because they don't necessarily want the excretions to touch them, as it were.
Or to be run into by a gnome wearing a breastplate.
Yeah, that's also not handy.
The ick factor is palpable.
Mm.
Hey, it's useful, whatever, if nothing else.
Would you like me to, like, remove that?
No.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The general scent of, like, leaking pores and sweat from your... Okay.
All part of the majesty, isn't it?
Yeah. And then I hock up a lung and kind of spit a gob of gunk into the street.
It's rather black and tar-like.
Oh, it's getting clearer.
It's one way of looking at it.
I wonder if that's pliable.
I realised you didn't introduce him to your friend.
Didn't we?
No.
Lucille, this is Makarak.
Who?
Makarak, this is, well, Lucille.
It's like, how tall is Makarak?
5'8".
Okay, so I have to look pretty much straight up in order to see us properly.
Yeah. Although conveniently similar to the goblins, that means you can see that there are 4 eyes staring down at you.
Huh. Why are you following me?
You seem to be moving with purpose. I was bored.
I just tap on the guard insignia on the breastplate.
Yep.
Yes.
Whatever.
No worries.
Just sort of blinks all 4 of his eyes again, the way that he did before, across.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you blink them in sequence, yeah?
Pretty much, yeah.
Nice.
From one side across to the other.
I feel like there'd be something unnerving about that, just
No, really.
the fact that they never lose eyesight of you would just, yeah, it's good.
I'm already freaked out by something else. At the moment, this is something I'll be freaked out about later.
Yep, fair.
I put out a hand to Lucille. Maybe we got off on the wrong foot.
I look down, then look up, clop on the hand.
Yeah, as they grip your hand, it's rather moister than you were expecting, even from the look of, sweat dripping down her brow. It's yeah, it's uncomfortable to say the least.
Sorry, it all kind of ran down my arm.
Drugs, it happens.
Well,
He lets go of your hand, by the way. No, he doesn't rub it. He just puts it back in his cloak.
Rubs it on the inside of the pocket.
Hey, you can't see that.
No, exactly right. Nobody else can see it.
Okay, right. There was a reason I came here. What was it? You.
You hear a squeak from up on Azula's shoulder.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Yeah. The sergeant wants to hire you guys for a job. Thanks.
You hold Princess Sparkles out and she doesn't come off of your hand.
I'm hoping she's not stuck to my hand.
No. She doesn't come off Azula's hand.
You rude bitch.
You just hear in your mind, you look terrible.
Yeah. I can't do anything about that. That's how I look.
Just clean yourself up first.
Oh, fuck you.
And with that,
all this out loud, so
yeah, and then Princess Sparkles just sort of, and then runs back up Azula's arm and sits on her shoulder again.
You're going to hurt her feelings, you know.
She just squeaks at you.
Doesn't Princess Sparkles have speech today?
Yep.
Yeah, she can speak to Azula if she wants.
Yes, she can.
Only in Gnomish.
Nice.
Also, she wouldn't speak to.
No.
I feel like it wouldn't be in her nature to like necessarily just go around speaking to people. Like, even if she had the ability to speak common, she necessarily wouldn't unless it was like a dire situation or something that really needed to happen.
Like, you speak to the peasants carrying your palanquin?
Basically, yes. I mean, she is a princess.
That's true.
So,
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I suppose I need to work out what Floxy would actually speak about. Probably pets,
yes,
cats, hugs, snacks. The thing you're
Pets.
looking for is over there.
Pets and scritches. All right. So,
You are forgetting the snackies.
oh, yes, of course, it's your
I
snack.
did say schneck.
Your snack.
Yes, as Kakram puts his hand out, like Floxy just comes over and is like, to the left, yeah.
Goblin fingernails are best nails. Now, you said something about a job. Well, we have 2 jobs now.
Don't forget the hat.
3 jobs.
What? What, are we going to a joust?
Yeah, that's the first job. Then Lucille's got us a second job. But then we also have to pick up the hat, which is technically the first job.
And then there's also the job of looking for the fair maiden.
Yeah, that's the other first job that we're going to the joust for.
2 first
Yeah.
jobs.
Oh, I was just going to the
I
joust.
get the impression that one won't be available for a day or two. You know what these nobles are like. They don't like talking business when they're out in public.
Somehow I feel like if you're missing your damsel in distress, you'd still talk about it at the joust. Like, if they're really that worried, why the fuck are they at the joust?
Does any of
Like-
this sound familiar? To the team?
Roll. All right. Kara
Yeah, I'd need
rolls
to make a
society.
society check, yeah.
Yeah. And Lucille, roll either a society or a diplomacy.
Society it is. 21.
With a 12 Macarak, you would know that just because there's somebody missing doesn't necessarily mean that they're all that important. It would really depend on the sort of point in the chain that the person that has been stolen comes with as to how quickly they would be rescued or anything along those lines.
Also, probably politically, they
Yes.
wouldn't want people to know someone is missing. That's something that could be used against them if the other nobles were to hear about it. That's what I'm
Yes.
thinking.
Couldn't they just hear about it off the board that is very publicly in the square?
Lucille with a
Hey, I'm not a
21.
human.
I also got a 21 on society.
All right, so with the both of you with that roll, both of you would realize that if this person was like really trying to save the lady that has been stolen or anything like that, they wouldn't be here. They'd have gone to the capital. Basically, from what your understanding of the whole political intrigue and all that kind of stuff is, they're here basically as a token to try and make it look like they tried to have them saved, but in actual fact, they don't care one way or the other if they actually are saved.
Who is it you're looking for?
Makarak?
Insert name here, Lady
It was Lady Amor.
Lady Amor.
Do I know that name for as being someone who lives in the town?
You know that name, but not as someone that lives in the town. It's a noblewoman that has recently come from the capital about a month ago to spend some time here. You weren't really sure the purpose. It was just sort of more of a social visit was the way it was played off amongst the guard, as the lady was coming out just to visit the governor and spend some time out in the country, but it looks like there may have been some ulterior motives.
See. I mean, sounds familiar. Not a local.
The way it reads to you, it's more like perhaps the person that was stolen was somebody that she's related to, but might have necessarily been in her way. As in, like, an older sister, maybe, or something along those lines.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That she may or may not have potentially disappeared.
Entirely possible. Yep.
So it sounds like the person putting up the reward to find the person would probably pay you more to not find the person.
It's possible.
Eh.
You guys get all that from a sign?
I live here.
Well, if you look at the social standing of the person, the house that they lived in is a very wealthy house and is an area that the town guard is actively patrolling. The town guard doesn't patrol like every suburb. They look after the rich because the rich pay them, right? So you know that they are of higher standing. They can afford a lock on their door, like a proper lock. Also, higher standing means that they're wealthy, means that they would have the funds to actually hire a proper professional group to go and find the person missing, not just place a sign on the general notice board of the center of a village. Da?
It also means they're probably a bunch of shits.
Exactly. And if you were really that worried, why would you not stay at the location where you said to come and find us here and we will give you the information about the job? Instead, they leave for multiple days to go watch a joust. Means they don't really care about someone coming to them to take up the job. It means they're literally just putting up appearances. Therefore, means they don't really care about the person gone. It's obvious, really.
This sounds way too much like my old life. I don't. Okay.
Yeah, let's walk and talk.
Alright, so you guys start making your way towards the joust? Is that where you're heading?
Well, doesn't seem like there's much point if they don't want to be found. So, pet shop.
Well, didn't they say it wouldn't be till the afternoon?
Oh yeah. So,
Push to talk.
Oh, what is the job, by the way, Lucille, that your boss wants us to hire us for?
He wants us to go on an investigation to that. I forgot the name of the place. Somewhere on the way to Iron
Point. Yeah.
Iron Point, where them caravans were disappeared. There's one. Fuck. There's one that got into town after having an encounter, as it were. And I figure, actually, he figures that I may need a group of people who I can. What was the word he used?
Rely on.
Be trusted by to go and investigate and. Actually, I don't know what else he said. There was a lot of words. Yeah.
I do remember us talking about the caravans because I also heard it on my way in as well. How much are they paying us for this job, or will that be talked about later when we meet?
I probably should have asked.
That is probably something you should have asked.
I just, we just got. Well, I don't know about everyone else, but I just got into town. I'm having a bit of a holiday, really, from working at the moment. So, we'll go. Don't know about everyone else, but.
Well, you said you wanted to go and see Henry. He's the one who gave us the job. I could introduce you to him. You could get the information yourself.
Yes, sounds like a good idea.
All right.
I don't know about. I don't speak for the rest of them, though. You guys might just want to be enjoying the festivities.
No. No, if we're going on a job, we should experience this together.
Okay.
And so it has been chosen. All right, I guess we're going back to work.
Consider it gaining experience.
Didn't we already just do that? Guys?
Kakran, it is something you do every day. You're not supposed to ever stop learning.
Makarak, you want to do this instead, or you still want to go find wanting to be found princess?
I will tag along. Sounds like you
Okay.
could use the extra help.
A job's a job, right?
I prefer the extra help. Oh, what is your skill set, by the way? I've been able to see the goblins fight. Well, yeah. What?
Who are you talking to?
People.
Makarak.
Oh, Mac.
Makarak just blinks at you. I guess you'll find out.
Blinking by the look of it.
Well, I don't want to bring a civilian. I can say that these two can look after themselves, but can you
Roll-
vouch?
Roll me a perception test, Azula.
Might also help, but he's clearly struggling not to laugh.
Yeah.
If you want me to vouch for him, he is an excellent translator.
Translator.
That's how we met.
By him translating.
Yes, his Astaline was shit. I say in Goblin.
Yeah. All right. So, as you're saying that comment about bringing a commoner into combat, you actually sort of stop and take a practiced gaze over him. Not only the fact the way he holds himself is obviously someone that has been trained in combat, but you can see at least a dagger, a short sword, and a short bow on him.
I'll still wait for his reply.
Yeah. Does Makarak reply in any meaningful way, or just sort of stands and... Because you wouldn't exactly be able to smirk with a beak.
No, but I click my beak. That's
Yep.
the smirk.
Yeah.
If you need a quiet knife, just come see me.
I thought all knives were quiet.
Trust
Just
me,
glances at
Kakran.
you. There are quiet knives, then there are quiet knives.
Also, if you hand it to Kakran, it will become a loud knife.
That's why he uses his fists. Like, I don't like to use the word contract assassin, but yeah, close enough. Your culture here does not have a word for what I am.
I feel like this is an inappropriate time for me to make a joke about crows.
I feel your judgment has misled you.
Something about a murder.
I think David would hate.
Why?
Is it like a dragon fursuit?
No, it's a puppet.
This would be the most common trail to Dale, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. I would have gone up this way. I would have just came from this way.
Yes. I'll give it this. It has the right number of appendages. I mean, it still needs to die, but at least it can be called a dragon.
Wait, have you started recording again?
Yep.
For the record, we will not be sharing that picture because I do not want to actually diss on other people's artwork and creations.
It looks like it's something that was, like a concept art for where the wild things are, but they somehow screwed it up and it looked like a butchered version of one of the old Dinosaurs TV show characters. Why has it got leopard print
I
underneath
don't
it?
know.
Oh my gosh, yeah, its stomach is leopard print.
So is
And
the
it's
top of its head.
Yeah, the top of its head's leopard print and it's got ram's horns. And like, I don't understand why the wings are that color.
It's got a unicorn horn as well.
Wings.
I don't understand what it is, and it needs to die.
I think the worst thing is if you look at the front of it, in between its legs, the front part of it at the bottom is sagging.
It's because it has a pouch like a marsupial.
So that's where it keeps its bollocks.
Actually, that's the part where the humans stick their hand up.
That's definitely an option.
It's a puppet.
It's anyway. I just need a minute to get that out of my head. It's no.
You could use the amnesia ray.
That's
have-
all right. There's a picture of it with someone using it as a puppet.
That's a funny name for a hammer, Hendo.
I was thinking revolver, but yeah, that works too.
Yeah, they both work.
You had to make it worse.
They look so happy though.
Why? Why would you do this?
Because
It's time to stop.
I love you guys, and I needed to share my pain with people that could understand the horror that is this puppet with some small child.
Misery loves
I
inflicting
don't
misery upon
understand.
others.
I don't understand at all. Why would you do this?
Spite.
That's an excellent point. Okay, so
I like how there was the okay, so
yeah,
and then just silence and aggressive typing.
Had a story.
I still have it in my head. Anyway,
Do you need us to override it?
no, it'll be fine.
Never gonna give you up.
Stop that. Cease and desist.
Never gonna let you down.
Dave's looking directly at me like I'm the one that did it, even though I was silent the entire time.
Stop it. Anyway. Yeah, good. My brain. So anyway, what is the plan from here? You guys have something akin to a general objective, I guess is the best way to describe it now.
We are going to visit Henry.
Okay. So with that, the group turns and starts to make their way, or in this case, continues making their way towards down the same road that they were heading originally, except instead of going all the way out to the joust, they stop and turn into the barracks.
Hey, just in here, down the stairs, on the right.
We just need to insert the Benny Hill theme song for the overview of our characters this morning.
Basically. Yep. But being in the company of Lucille, the guards that are standing out the front of the barracks don't stop you as you head in to enter. And, you sort of walk in and Lucille moves to the front of the group and makes her way across to Sergeant Carr's door, which is still ajar from where you left it this morning.
Bang, bang.
Yeah. And again, the door opens up that little bit further, allowing you entrance. And again, from inside, you hear the sound of the sergeant sort of, yes, come in.
Yep, we're here, boss.
Very good. I assume you've brought them up to speed?
As much as I could recall.
It was not very informative.
I'm not very informative.
To be fair, we don't exactly have a lot of information to go off. I'm working off the hearsay and rumor of a caravan mercenary group and the fact that we are missing 4 caravans.
Okay, 4 caravans. And
Yes.
how much are you paying us?
Well, I can give you a total of 25 gold for the group, and as well as he reaches down and he pulls out 2 healing potions, which he puts on the table. I can give you these up front to assist with the mission.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Are we just getting information about what happened to the caravans, or are we trying to stop what is happening?
If you can find out what's happening to the caravans, that'll be enough for me. If you can stop whatever is happening to the caravans, I will double the amount of gold.
Wow, 35 gold.
50 gold.
I was close.
You're not very good with math, are you, Lucille?
That's not part of my job.
That is an accurate description of your work, Sigil.
By the way, it's great to formally meet you after the fight.
Ah, yes, of course. Azula, wasn't it? Azula, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes, no, it was a good fight, even if you didn't land a blow.
I know. I was wondering if you could give me some tips and pointers. I mean, after the festival, when we come back, maybe.
Sure, I could run you through some of the drills I practice daily, but
I used to be a town guard myself where I lived in Troutbeck, but I was thinking maybe we could do some sparring practice, or...
we can certainly spar if that's what you're interested in. Although, if I'm honest, the best thing for you is experience.
That's true.
There's nothing quite like having to fight for your life that teaches you in the quickest of ways how best to dispatch an opponent. So, from here...
also, our friend here... not you. I'm pointing to the Birdman.
Yes. Yeah, you see, every now and then he's been sort of shifting his gaze across to Makarak, not really sure, having never really met the individual before, but figuring if he's here with you guys, he must be part of the group.
Do you want to introduce your friend? Let's.
Kakran goes to open his voice and immediately just starts coughing up a lung.
Yeah, I don't know what that came from.
Are you catching that off, Lucille?
I mean, it's probably contagious looking at it.
I resent that.
So do I, but here we are. Anyway, this is Makarak. He's a great translator. Helped me out a lot back on the island. And, well, we were set to meet up here anyway, so I figured many hands make light work. Some wings also don't hurt.
He's also a good fighter.
I mean, if you say so, I haven't fought him.
When did you fight him, Azula? I thought you just met him.
I did, but I was trying to pump him up. Okay, never mind.
Look.
I'll give you a hand there, Kakran. We would have fought, even if it's just sparring.
Oh, okay. In that case, he is an adequate opponent. Coming from the Chosen, that's high praise.
Henry just sort of looks across at you all and goes, I've crossed blades with at least two of your group, and I've been around Lucille enough to know that at least some of you can handle yourselves. I don't really need you guys to prove to me now what you can do. I simply need you to find out what's happening and come back to me. Or, if you can deal with the problem, even better.
Excellent about that. I would like to find out some information and take as many notes as possible. Whereabouts was it that the caravans were heading from? And two, how many exactly have disappeared, and what were the sizes of their parties?
Okay. I can't tell you most of that. I know they've been getting to Ashbourne. We've had reports of them going through Iron Point and Rivers Cross, but we never heard anything from them after Ashbourne. The one caravan that did make it through, that it was attacked, they had a band of 6 mercenaries helping escort them at the time. We expect that the other 4 that didn't make it were probably less heavily armed than that. Other than that, I can't tell you anything. Oh, sorry. the ones that made it said that they were attacked by some kind of undead.
Undead, you say? Okay. Sorry, undead. That sounds like your department as well.
No, I'm thinking this makes sense. I've also heard some reports about this on the road, and one of the reports was about a caravan that they found, and it was on fire. But all the people and the animals, there were no carcasses; they had just disappeared. It was a bloody scene, but no bodies to be found. So this makes sense if it is an undead situation.
It's a bit concerning. If when did you hear rumors of that?
As soon as I got into town, I talked to the other people who I was guarding the caravan myself. So I was talking to other people who are guarding their caravans, and some came across this.
Yes. Interesting. Well,
Including the animals? What kind of necromancer bothers with the animals when they can take the humans?
Even necromancers need horses, right?
I'm making a cult check, see if I know.
you can certainly try.
Sure.
Actually, that's a good idea. May I try as well?
Yes. Oh,
I'm not going to beat that, but I got a 17.
nice. All right. So, with a 17, you know that you can make undead from not just humanoid corpses. You can make undead from any kind of corpse that's not limited to just humanoid individuals.
Yeah, but if you've got access to humans, why do you need a sheep?
Well, you don't need a sheep, but horses. Horses can be useful. With a natural 20 and a total of 24, it doesn't make any sense to you why a necromancer would be attacking caravans on a road. There are better
obvious.
Yeah, it's a little obvious, and there are better targets. It doesn't sound to you necessarily, unless the necromancer is already in a position where they can be obvious, which that's a troubling thought to you.
The issue we could be facing is that he's already got all the resources he needs and is now operating openly.
Well, there is the forest that is along the section of Ashbourne. Before you get to the more open roads, when looking at the map, perhaps that is a more likely location for someone to be hiding.
Yeah, it's a possibility. I mean, the forest would give them plenty of cover to be able to work out of without too much, need to be worrying about being seen in the open.
Are there any old castles, ancient ruins, conveniently placed ancient wizard towers that a creepy necromancer could come and inhabit?
Yes, not that direction, but there is the mine.
The mine?
There's a mine in Ashbourne.
In Ashbourne or adjacent, like outside of?
Like outside of Ashbourne in the mountains, but it's on the outskirts of town.
Still operational or abandoned?
It's operational the last time I heard anyone coming through. Trade doesn't normally come this way because the dwarves that run the mine are based out of Iron Point. And Iron Point has a heavy industrial-sized airship port. Basically, they transfer all the raw materials or whatever refined materials they can make to Iron Point, and then it gets transferred out of there to wherever it's going. Doesn't come this way, normally. You do occasionally get a shipment, but not usually.
Is the mine located on the east of Ashbourne? Or the north or south?
Northeast, from memory. It's been a while since I've been there, but yeah, from memory, The road comes in from the south and goes back out from the south. The mine's on the other side of town, which is northeast. Why?
Well, if people are being attacked outside of Ashbourne, it stands to reason that they would not be set up on the western side of Ashbourne if they have to travel east from Ashbourne to get to here.
Well, no, they travel west from Ashbourne to get to here. Ashbourne is east from Alnwick.
Please excuse me, Veronica doesn't understand the concepts of east and west.
Yeah, good.
Yep.
Literally right and left.
It's alright. I mean, when everyone looked one way earlier, she looked the other. So, I mean, she just doesn't understand left from right.
Some people really have that problem.
They do. No, your other left.
Just use the old maxim that I used to use. Is there any port left?
Yes. Because port is left. Starboard is right.
Or the other one, where you hold up your left hand in front of you. If it makes the shape of an L, that's left.
Yeah, that's my go-to.
Yeah. Anyway.
If you use the right hand, that's loser.
Alright, well, as much as I would love to stand around and discuss certain particulars, I do have business I need to attend to, so will you be taking on the mission?
Well, there's one more piece of information you need to give us.
Which is?
The caravan that arrived here that had been attacked, where do we find them to talk to them?
I said to Lucille earlier, the mercenary group that was escorting them, they're called the Black Scales. You can probably find them at the tavern.
That would have been useful information. Thank you, Lucille.
Lucille's not there to answer you.
Lucille's just dipped.
She snuck out around the time when the questioning started.
I don't need to be here for this. Out I go.
Pretty much. She went to go off and have a bath.
Yeah, nice.
A wash down.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, I say that as I turn to look for her and realize.
Yep, she's gone.
So, 2 health potions and 25 gold now, an additional 25 until a return.
2 health potions now, 25 gold on completion, which will be doubled if you manage to eradicate the problem.
I've already grabbed the health potions at the start when he's like, 2 health potions in this, and I was like, I'll take these, thank you.
Okay. You need to add them into your... Or have you got them there already?
I'll add, what sort are they?
Just minor healing potions.
I'll add them in.
Since Azula came from that direction, do I know anything about Ashbourne?
You would know.
Because I would have had to travel through that, right, with the caravan, because we came from the kind of the direction of Dale.
Yeah. No.
Fingers up the button.
Push the talk. Yeah, good. I can't hear myself when I'm speaking now. That's nice. Thank you. She looks so confused. It's alright.
How do buttons work? They're confusing.
Okay, so you would know about Iron Point. It's not exactly the most popular of towns, essentially, simply because there is a temple to Crisis there.
That's bad, right?
He is the lawful evil god of conquest and battle, essentially. Wait. Hold on. She. My bad. Feminine. Yeah. There's a temple to Crisis there, which is... I mean... It's not that it's illegal, it's more that it's just frowned upon simply because it's... The worship of Crisis itself isn't bad. It's more the fact that their main tome of honor, which is called the Tome of Combat. Actually, hold on 1 second.
This sounds like an experience.
Yes.
This does sound like something Kakran would be interested in.
The Code of Conflict. There is an honor system in there that basically means that whilst battle is underway, then, there are certain rights that must be upheld and all that kind of business. As soon as one side is declared the victor, the opposing side basically loses all standing as, well, people. And there's normally an amount of, let's say, ritual sacrifice to Crisis by the winning team for obviously blessing them in the victory. And then the rest of them are usually sold into slavery. That's sort of the part where Crisis becomes evil.
So they're fine as long as you never lose.
To them, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't ever want to be on the losing side of a battle with the Battlekin of Crisis. It's a bad time.
It's like the Dothraki on Angel Dust.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, which is kind of why people tend to avoid Iron Point, because the law there is basically the law of might, in that any disputes are usually sorted out by a martial duel. Whoever wins is seen as the victor. Whoever loses all right to their life, essentially. So there's not a lot of law breaking in Iron Point to that extent.
But did we go also through Ashbourne as well?
You would have passed through there, yes.
And was there a church for my god there? Because then I would have talked.
No. There's no temple in Ashbourne. It's too small. It's only a sort of... The only thing that's really there is the mine and the general, the infrastructure there to support it. So it's essentially just the housing for the local people that have migrated there to man the mine, as well as like a tavern, an apothecary to help deal with any injuries that the miners might sustain whilst they're doing about their business, and yeah, probably a blacksmith. That there is a blacksmith in town, because obviously need a blacksmith for all the tools that they'll need in the mine. And apart from that, that's about it, really.
What about when I was there? Did I hear anything about the mine? Because if the mine was closing, that would be a big thing in the town.
You didn't hear anything about the mine closing. You did notice there was a lot less people around, though. Yeah. No worries.
Okay, Henry, I think we've probably been standing in your office talking about this for too long. Do you know where Lucille went?
No idea.
I thought you two were really nice friends.
I'm a senior. I wouldn't call us friends.
But she yelled such encouraging things to you in the match.
Yes, it was quite off-putting.
Is she not normally nice?
Have you met her?
Seems pretty nice to me.
Whoa.
Seems pretty standard for a goblin.
Yeah, standard for a goblin doesn't necessarily mean, nice for most normal people.
Well, I've lived with goblins and I've lived with dwarves. I don't see the issue.
Maybe spend some time around halflings and humans. You might see a bit of a difference.
Halflings do have good tea. Alright, let's go.
He just looks at you with a confused, quizzical look as you all sort of turn and head out of the office.
I'll just turn back and whisper, and it's like, the festival lights look fantastic with it.
I'll take your word for it.
Have you tried it?
Can't say that I have. No, sorry.
I've still got some if you want some.
No, it would impede my ability to do my job, unfortunately.
I'm not
Save it
suggesting
for
you do
yourself.
it on your job. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. With that, you just sort of toddle your way out of the office.
On the bright side, we're all so broke that we can't go shopping beforehand, so away we go.
Can we try and
Yeah.
buy a map?
All right, so
I mean, I did spend 2 gold on a hat yesterday. Can we just check if that's done before we leave? I'm gonna die in the woods. I'd like to die with a nice hat.
yeah.
Did we happen to get a map that he gave us?
No, he did not give you a map. So where to from here?
I would like to go to a map shop.
You wouldn't need to go to a map shop. You'd be able to find a map fairly easily throughout the various market stalls and all that kind of stuff in town. Roll me a perception test.
So we're looking out for maps on the way to the hat shop, yeah?
Yeah, well, the map shop would be one of the stalls in town, so.
That's where my natural 20 goes tonight, guys. To finding a map.
Excellent, of course.
A map that we won't be able to afford in the first place, but yeah, you found one.
All right.
Is it Wando's big book of maps?
It is, in fact, not Wando's Big Book of Maps, I'm sorry. So, as you're making your way through, you would indeed find a couple of cartographers that would be, making their wares known.
Wait, what was that name you just said?
What do you mean?
Lucille, you just said a name and a random tune
You
popped in my
just
head.
haven't run into Lucille again yet.
Yeah, she's not there.
Oh, damn.
You're so good.
Sorry. I heard the name, or I thought I did, and I just got this tune. Da da
No,
da
stop.
da.
Stop that. But yeah, for a local map of the area, it would cost you 5 silver.
Lady, Azula, didn't you say that the church provides? Have you thought of seeing if the church has a map?
Well, this wasn't. If the church had given me this mission, then they probably would have provided me a map. But this is outside the church, which I do contract occasionally outside, and I do need to provide my own things like this. The church provides with basic needs, not something like this.
Not getting lost is pretty basic need.
But I could also not do this job and just do a job for the church. So
Maybe it's not a god of travel. Maybe if you had a god of travel, they'd give free maps.
maybe, but
Church provides, but only very basic stuff.
you need to live.
Yeah, but it's kind of boring. I don't think this one's for me.
All right. But
Okay.
as you're making your way through,
I'll buy the map.
You
I
buy the
now
map?
only have 1 silver left.
okay.
Did you want us to chip in a silver to help?
Anything that anyone else can provide would be great. Armor was expensive. And
I can do one.
do I have to get another shield? I can't.
No, your shield would be able to be mended. Yeah. Thomas would have the spell to be able to mend your shield, so don't stress. He would have done that this morning after preparing the spell. Yes, but you are able to purchase the map for 5 silver off of a particularly red-cheeked human individual. Male, and he's probably mid to late 40s. He's obviously having a good time. You can see that there is a large tankard that is half full of ale on the side of the table. Whilst he's going about the business of selling his wares, he's every now and then he'll stop and take a bit of a swig from the tankard. But yeah, you grab.
In this case, can I try and do some negotiation, some diplomacy?
Sure.
Maybe some flirting to my best ability.
You can try and diplomacy with him.
While he's distracting the kind gentleman with her womanly wiles, I'll try and pinch a map.
I mean,
I'll leave a silver in its place.
if you want, I mean, Floxy could probably help. Here you go. Have a cute thing.
I see them actually trying to steal this thing.
They're not trying to steal. They're trying to barter with the man to try and get a better price.
I'm swapping a map for a silver piece. It's not stealing.
Do I get...
You don't get the bonus from Floxy.
Oh, I can't.
Floxy can still attempt.
No, so the way it works is Floxy gives you a bonus because they make your attempt better because you're that in sync. Doesn't work with another person. But anyway.
I think I still have Princess Sparkles on the other shoulder, actually.
He seems to consider it for a while and he's like, oh, alright. Because of the festival, have it for 4 silver. But
Thank you so much. Thank you.
yeah, he just sort of nods, raises his tankard to you, and downs the last of the ale. And with that, you guys heading a couple of stalls down. You meet up with the old halfling that you met the other day that is making you a hat. Well, actually, sorry, no, it wasn't the old halfling that you met. It was the younger halfling.
If we see the old halfling that I acquired the tea off, I would quickly stop by their stall.
Yeah, she'd be there. Same store as she was in the other day.
I might pop out there while they're doing whatever they're doing.
Whilst they're going to pick up your hat.
Never mind. I realized that as I said it. We'll be walking along towards the hat store with Kakran and that, and then I'd just walk off. You know that thing I do in real life when I see something shiny I want to look at?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you, as the group is following your lead to go over to the hat store, you immediately veer off to the right and head over towards the old lady that sold you drugs yesterday.
Excuse me. Halfling mushrooms are a completely legitimate substance.
They are illegal in some parts of Candalis.
They are a completely legitimate substance. Are they illegal here?
No.
Legitimate does not mean it's not a drug.
That's fine. Says the one smoking a pipe. Or
It's a cigarette.
dickies,
Sort of.
whatever.
Tobacco is legal.
Yep. Cool. How much did we pay for it last time? Was it 2 silver?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was like 2 silver.
It was something like that.
Yeah. Come up and halfling over. Hello.
How can I help you again today, my dear?
I very much enjoyed that tea. So we're about to go out on a mission, and I was wondering if you had any more.
I mean, of course I've got some root here, although I wouldn't necessarily suggest drinking it whilst you're in a unsafe environment.
Well, it's more apparently there's a necromancer and stuff involved. If I know I'm going to die, at least I want to do it with stars in my eyes.
What do you mean a necromancer involved?
Oh, there's apparently a necromancer or like undead that have been stopping caravans or like taking caravans along the road from Ashbourne.
She seems to look you up and down for a long second. She goes, well, perhaps it would be best if I broke camp and headed south.
You know, that's probably not a bad idea.
Mm.
Or if you have like safer caverns that you can travel by.
Mm-hmm. She gives you a smile and nods a little bit, and you see as she starts to slowly pack up her little area that she set out, and before she sort of stops and reaches down and pulls out another little vial of the root and hands it out to you.
Thank you very much. Is there anything else I can do to help?
No, I should be fine. I'll be able to sort this out myself.
Okay, I better go now. Thank you very much, and
No,
here's your money.
thank you. And she just sort of waves her hand towards you as in indicating that she doesn't need the money.
Good luck. What
Mm.
was your name?
You don't need to worry about the name of an old lady, my dear.
But if I ever meet another darkling, then I would like to let them know what a lovely, lovely darkling I met.
Simply call me Marjorie.
Okay, Marjorie. Thank you.
She just sort of bows a little bit and then goes about the business of packing up her stall.
I go to walk back to the group, wherever they are.
They're standing right behind you.
Do any of you guys speak Halfling?
This isn't the hat shop.
There were no hats here. Not one.
I just had to let our Halfling friend know that they should probably head south.
Wait, what
Just
is
in
this
case.
about hats? What are we waiting for now?
Sorry, hat shop this way.
Yes, hat shop. Why?
Because I already paid 2 gold for the hat to be made, and if I'm going to die wearing the fancy hat I have dreamed of my whole 9.5 years of life.
Lucille, was it?
Lucille is currently unavailable. She had disappeared earlier when you guys were in talking to Henry.
Which direction were the caravans missing in?
Which direction?
Do I know that?
Yeah, they were on the road between here and Iron Point, so
Cool.
out towards the east.
He's like, alright, I'll catch up. And walks off.
Yep. No worries.
He gets bored easily. This is fine.
Yeah.
The sooner we get your hat, the sooner we can be on the way.
All right.
Yeah, basically just go
Turns
and
around and gives you
collect
2
the-
feathery thumbs up.
Yeah.
And then vanishes.
a feather.
All
I
right.
mean, if you can get it off him.
Yeah, it sounds like a great way to lose a finger.
It definitely sounds like a great way to lose a finger. All right, so
I'm
the
not
rest
going
of
to stop you. I'm not going to help you. I'm also not going to stop you.
I'm good. You can just describe the beautiful hat and then we can move on to
I have your permission. Is that how this works?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. By your leave, sir.
All right. But yes, as you say, you walk over and the lady that was you'd organized to make your hat has indeed made you a very fancy looking hat in a similar color to the cloak that you're wearing. It is not patchwork like the one that you're currently wearing. It is complete and whole with some very nice trimming to it. Other than that, it seems rather plain, but you get what you pay for.
As is customary, it needs to pass supervisor approval. So Floxy will investigate with some little sniffs and nose twitches. Do a little. I like it.
Okay. Well, with permission from the supervisor, you put it on the head and she curls up underneath.
Cool. Yeah, I thank her and just in halfling, just let her know that you know, maybe when she packs up stuff, she should head south as opposed to east.
Yeah, she just sort of gives you a bit of an odd look as you say that, but nods and continues going about serving the customers that she has there.
Oh, well, not necessarily south, but just not east.
Yeah.
Cool. And from there, I guess we can go and question.
Well, whilst all this is going on, Lucille has been off having a quick bath.
I can't whistle, but she can. So imagine a gnome, kind of half stripped down in one of the back rooms of the barracks with a tub of water, just scrubbing herself clean
Mm-hmm.
while whistling. Thank you.
Yep.
And she dries off, puts her shit back on,
Yep.
and then is like, "Hang on, they've moved."
They have indeed.
It follows the direction of where I can feel the rat.
Yeah. So it doesn't take you too long after they've come out. You see them at what appears to be a hat stall. And the Kara appears to be just finishing trying on a new hat that she has bought.
And do I go inside and harass them, or do I just kind of wait out the front and just go, say, "Took you long enough, where have you been?"
Yeah, so as you guys turn away from the stall, Lucille's just standing there, just, all right, let's go.
I do need to go to the church first, just to let them know what I'm doing.
And I take it the goblins would like to grab the rest of their gear from the dwarves.
This is probably a good idea.
We can split and meet at the gate.
Yeah. So it's getting to about probably 3 o'clock with all the running around you guys have been doing at the moment. So if you take an hour for everyone to sort of split off, grab all their gear and meet up back at the gate.
Get Princess Sparkles to go and deliver a couple of messages for me.
Yep.
Am I able to ask the church if I can have a bedroll?
The church will willingly supply you with a bedroll. That is no
I
dramas.
tell them my job, the job that I've gotten.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you mentioned that there might be undead involved, they are more than willing to help you.
Maybe they give me some rations as well.
Yes, they give you some rations. They give you a bedroll as well as another potion of mana healing.
Ah, thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. It's the basic potion. It does like 1d8 healing.
Do you mean minor healing?
Yes, that's what I said. Potion of mana healing.
Sounded like I heard mana, like, but pronounced mana.
No, I said potion of minor healing.
Not enough mana.
Yeah, I just assumed it was some sort of weird thing she could do because special elf lady nonsense, so I didn't question it at all.
Yeah, good. All right, so whilst everyone takes a bit of time to gather the rest of their gear and whatnot, Lucille, who are you sending messages to?
One to my mum, and
Yes.
the other one to Sergeant Carr.
Yep. And what do the messages entail?
So, well, the first one is just informing her about the escort that she's got that's leaving from the tavern at 7 a.m. in 2 days' time. And the one to the sergeant, you have already seen by the look of it.
Cool. Yeah, that's not a problem. It'd take Princess Sparkles a while to do it, but essentially, if you would like, you can basically send her off to your mother, and you can go talk to the sergeant again, or vice versa if you like. That'd probably be the easiest way to do it to get it done within an hour.
All right. So one happens one way, I sort out
Yeah.
the other.
Yeah, that's fine. Probably be easiest if you did the sergeant, because Princess Sparkles has a way of getting around town that is quicker than you can probably manage at the moment.
Yes, and she can speak a language that Mum knows.
Exactly. So, all good. Now, Makarak, what in particular were you doing when you leave the rest of the group? Anything of importance, or just sort of hanging around and getting a general feel for what's going on?
I was going to meet them up on the trail.
Yep. So you just heading off early to try and scout ahead a bit?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Good. All right. So, are you trying to be stealthy about it, or not worrying too much about that in general?
Yeah, I'll try and be quiet about it.
Yep.
I'm not going to make a big, So I'm going to be marching up the center of the road. I'll be,
Yeah.
Mm.
Keeping out of the main line of sight, but in general, just having a bit of a scout ahead.
pretty much, yeah. See if
All
I can
right.
spot any evidence of occult dealings.
Cool. Alrighty, so nothing really stands out to you on the road. There's still people coming and going. It's a bit busier than you'd be expecting, but also there's the festival, so it's kind of to be expected that there'd be a certain amount of activity on the road.
Mm.
But nothing that really stands out to you as wrong, or there's nothing, you don't see somebody shambling up the road towards the thing. It's not like anything like that, so there's nothing that really stands out. There's not a mob of zombies just thrillering their way up the road, unfortunately, so
shouting the word
What a
brains
shame.
and Brian's because one of them's dyslexic.
Exactly. So yeah, everything up to where you get to is, standing out as just general comings and goings of a town in the middle of the plains. How far out were you making it?
No, not that far. Mostly just getting up to the edge of where the road starts heading off. I figure I probably don't want to get too far in front of everyone else.
Yeah.
So at some point I'd just move onto the side of the road, sit down and start scratching away at a stick or something like that.
So I figured you'd make your way about an hour down the road out of town, and then sort of use that to make your place where you'd sort of set up a position where you can keep an eye on both directions of the road, which would give you a good eye where they're going to be coming from, but keeps you out of sight. All right. So after that hour, the rest of you meet up at the gate. Everyone. Yes?
We can't leave yet. We need to talk to the mercenary group.
Yeah?
They're probably not too far away from where we are.
They're probably at the tavern. Like just about every other mercenary group at the moment.
Yeah, I'd head to see them before going to get my stuff if they're nearby the market.
Lucille forgot about them, so she doesn't remember to go and talk to them.
Nice.
Someone else brings it up.
Good job.
I'd not forgotten about it, so
Lucille had more important things to take care of.
She did. So if Kara... Yeah, so you'd go and see them, you said, before you grab the rest of your gear.
Well, I'm assuming the tavern is right near the market as
It is.
opposed to where the caravan of dwarves is parked.
Correct.
So, I'd get my hat and people would be like, yeah, let's split up and get our things. So, shouldn't we talk to the mercenaries?
I was going to when I come back.
Okay. Well, Kakran, can you get our stuff from the dwarves? I'm gonna go. They're right there. I'm not going to walk all the way down to the caravan and then all the way back up carrying all of my shit. I can see the tavern. It's just there. You wanna not trek around for an extra half an hour?
I was, in fact, going to suggest the same thing. It is almost as if we are twins.
You have an excellent knowledge of how time works, brother.
All right, so Kakaran's going to go and grab the twins' gear. Kara's going to go talk.
Both of our stuff, all our stuff, not just mine this time.
All in the one.
Yeah. So with that, Kara's going to go see if she can find the mercenaries. Is Azula going with her?
Come with me, Azula.
All right. Well, it would be good to talk to them as well.
Yes, I'm good with knowing things, but no religion.
Yes, right.
All right, so with that, two of you head off to the tavern. Lucille's a bit busy doing everything else. So, as you guys enter the tavern, it's fairly rowdy in there with a bunch of mercenary groups that are basically out of work but still getting paid at the moment because, you know, the caravan has to pay them for all the days they're away, not just the days that they're actually on the road. So they're basically spending all of their time drinking away what little money they're making in the tavern. So it's fairly rowdy in there. You can see at least one fight is currently undergoing in the corner with a group of other, probably about another 5 people standing around it, you know, yelling and chanting and all that kind of stuff. As well as various other tables that have various levels of inebriated people sitting around them.
I miss my brother. Azula, come here. Come here. Kneel down.
All right.
Come down to my level.
Yes.
Excellent. Now let me get on your shoulders. And I try to climb on you.
I'm not doing that. No.
I'm already trying to climb on you. As soon as you kneel down, I try to climb onto your shoulders.
Roll.
You off? No.
All right, so both of you roll either an athletics or an acrobatics check. Your choice.
$19 total.
Yeah, so you go to try and climb up on Azula's shoulder and she just sort of puts a hand on your head and goes, no, we're not going to do that, and stands back up.
But they'll squish me.
Just stand close by.
I stand slightly inappropriately close, but do not realize that it is probably slightly inappropriate.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. So, you can see a couple of groups of mercenaries in the tavern at the moment.
Do any of them have black thorns? Scales?
Hmm.
What?
You can see one of them has a black motif about the armor.
Azula, walk that way. Create a path.
I start walking that way to where she points and go to the table and be like, hello, are you guys the Black Scales mercenaries?
You see a rather burly looking human female sitting there. You know, she's got straps of leather all over her, you know, shoulders, arms, and all that kind of stuff, with various scars along each of her biceps, as well as a large scar that runs from like the left hand side of her forehead all the way down to the right cheekbone. And she sort of looks up to you and finishes off the tank, and she's drinking, slams it down on the ground. Yeah, who's bloody asking?
She's Aussie. Sorry.
Hi, we've been contracted by the town to see what's happening with the caravan situation, and we know about your ordeal, and we're wondering if we could ask you a few questions.
Yeah, all right then. Off you go.
Could you just explain to us again what happened, where you were?
Well, we were about a couple of hours out of Ashbourne, heading towards here, going around the outside of the forest when these bastards came out at us. ran straight for the horses. Actually, bit weird. They normally, those undead things, they normally go for the people, but these ones went straight for the horses. Then there was more came after them. They fucked up the rest of us. I lost 2 of my men for that. But yeah, we killed them all and kept going.
Did it look like they wanted to kill the horses, or they were just trying to grab them?
I mean, they wanted to kill everything.
How many horses did you have? This little goblin pops out from behind us.
Sort of looks down. We had 4. One of them got taken down. The other 3 managed to make it.
Did you know any of the other caravans that went through?
I knew a couple of the other mercenary groups in passing. Not much in person, though.
How well armored were they?
They were a bit lighter on than us.
Did they have horses?
Yeah.
You know how many?
2.
How many people?
I don't know. Like I said, I knew the mercenaries in passing. I didn't know the caravans.
Were they any good at what they did?
I mean, I guess.
Well, you know, some mercenary groups like yourself are good at actually fighting, and some are more just like hired pretty muscle. They just look stronger than they are.
I mean, they were a little from column A, a little from column B. Some of them had some pretty boys, but there were some good fighters smattered about them.
Okay. Sorry. Azul, you go.
The undead who attacked you, were they dressed looking like mercenaries themselves or more townsfolk? And was it a long time dead or a very recently died?
Yes, were they the fleshy undead, or were they the skeleton undead, or were they like a floaty ghost undead? Like, what sort of undead we talking here? Like maggots?
She seems to think about it for a bit. And some of them still had bits of armor on. Others looked like they were just people. They were all still fleshy though. I guess you'd class them as zombies. There weren't any skeletons. Like, I mean, obviously, some of them had bits of skeleton showing, but, you know, they still had flesh on them. Some of them were definitely a bit more rotted than others, but there were some fresh ones there.
How fresh are we talking?
I don't know. They smelt pretty bad.
You're a mercenary. You've been around many corpses, I assume.
There was no fresh corpses. They'd all been dead at least a week.
At least a week, okay.
Some of them a lot longer.
And how many attacked you?
I kind of lost count at one point. I know I killed at least 4. Oi, Jax, how many did you take out? And you see another bloke that's sitting over the other side of the table, sort of looks across and goes, oh, well, I got 2. Steve managed to get 1 before the one came up behind him. Luther, well, he was just fucking useless, but he got taken down by 2 of them, so what's that, at least?
9 at the moment.
Yeah, well, add another half on, so probably close to 15.
Interesting. Anything in particular help take them down?
Swords. They didn't seem to care too much about clubs.
I look at my at my
Stuff.
shillelagh style stuff.
Yeah.
Well, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Sorry,
sorry,
Haley. I was
Haley.
just asking you if you had any questions.
I was about to ask you the same thing. It's like we're looking at each other.
Well, if there's nothing else, I got more piss to drink, so she just gets up and starts walking towards the bar.
Fair enough. That was a good amount of information.
Shouldn't we offer her a drink?
If you can afford it.
How much would what she's drinking be?
She's drinking ale, so a couple of copper. Like 2-3 copper.
Well, I'm not going to make it up there. Floxy, here. Take these 2 copper, put it on the bar, tell the barkeep it's for the mercenary.
Yeah, she takes the copper.
Just
Yeah.
flies up to the bar, just sort of. I'm assuming she probably gets the barkeep's attention by just like flying in front of her.
Yeah.
Just plops down on the bar, puts the 2 coppers down. It's like, for the mercenary with all the scars coming. And then
Okay.
just flies off.
No worries. All right, so was there anything else you guys needed to do, or is everyone meeting up at the gate?
I'm going to say yes.
Nice.
Yes.
All right, so
Well,
within
not everyone.
within a
Backrack's already an hour down the road.
yeah, within about 5 minutes, you all sort of meet up down at the eastern gate. Doesn't take you too long before everyone just sort of gives the nod, and the last of you having approached, you probably being Kakaran, hands off the other pack for Kara to her, and then you all make off and head away from the city, down the road towards Ashbourne.
Should we ask if Henry's willing to give us horses to make it a speedier time to get there?
He will make you pay for it.
Okay then. Alright.
Yeah.
You really are used to being rich, thinking people just hand out horses to goblins and gnomes? You're a very funny lady.
Can I do a religion check, by the way, of if I knew necromancers like who put up like 15 people? Is that like a powerful thing, or is that something just any necromancer can do? Like,
All right. Roll me a knowledge religion. Oh, actually, it's just religion now, but yeah. That looked like it was going to be a 1 for anyone else for a while, because it did for me. Yeah. All right, so you think about it on the way as you're just sort of making your way down the road, and gives you a bit of time to sort of mull over all the bits and pieces of it. It's not something that, like, you've had probably formal education on necromancers and all that kind of stuff, and there'd also be a bit that was touched on in your upbringing as an elf, being that you all learned sort of a general understanding of magic, as it were. So, yeah. You sort of think about it as you're making your way down the road. It depends mostly on if they're actually controlling the undead. Creating the undead themselves is not that necessarily difficult of a task. Controlling that many undead at once, that's a more arduous task. So you probably wouldn't be able to tell unless you've actually seen them in person to that extent. But yeah, you'd sort of be getting down the road. It'd be getting towards sort of 5:30 in the evening as you sort of start seeing the sun dip low in the towards the horizon, and you're getting to that point where you're probably about to start looking for somewhere to make camp.
Azula, do you mention any of that out loud?
nah, she's waiting.
Okay.
Makarak, as you're sitting off to the side of the road, just sort of whittling away at your stick, you'd sort of be keeping an eye out, and you'd see a group of 4 individuals making their way down the road, and with 3 of them being of a much shorter persuasion as the most normal humanoids, you're pretty sure that's your little band of misfits.
About time.
You make your way over to them, I presume?
Yep.
Yeah, so
Stands out as the
How do we
athlete.
catch up?
Yes, he'd catch up. But yeah, you make your way over from the little area you'd been making yourself nice and comfortable in, brushing off the grass off of your cloak as you stand back up. And so, I take it the group would like to find a place to stay for the night? Or are you just going to keep going?
There's a perfectly good spot over there to set up camp.
There is indeed.
Is it a giant nest in a tree?
What are you implying?
That you've had an hour to set up camp?
Yeah.
Turns out that's what he was whittling. He was just whittling sticks to make a giant nest. Nice.
If we're sitting around the camp or if we have a fire or whatever, I tell everyone what we learned about today and my own personal knowledge of the necromancy stuff.
Cool.
So you said that they're not necessarily that strong if they're not controlling the undead, but if they are, that means they're stronger? Okay,
Yes.
so they're stronger.
It does seem like they were controlling if they were all going for the horses.
Yeah, if they're all intentionally going for the horses, then yes. And the fact that the undead would attack a caravan and then disappear, that means that they would have to have been told to go back. Otherwise, it would just be a roving undead horde until somebody kills it.
That's my theory too.
Yeah, could be more than one.
Also, Kakran, I think you need a sword or something with blades on it.
I have fingernails.
And teeth.
Did you take the goblin bite ability?
No.
Dang.
No, you could just take someone else's teeth and put them on his fists.
But I can do piercing damage or bludgeoning damage. I don't know.
Good to know.
Yes. So, you guys make camp for the night. Everyone takes a watch, I presume?
Probably not a terrible idea, even though we're basically on a flat open plain.
Alright, so everyone roll me a perception.
Natural 1.
Yes, good.
16 total?
Yes, natural 1. 2 natural 1s.
So 2 of you fall asleep around the fire then.
It's been a tough day.
Don't fall asleep, we just don't see anything.
Alright.
We get jumped.
So, as you guys bed down for the evening and finish off your meals and, wash up and make yourselves bed, everyone makes themselves ready for the evening to, settle in for a night of not exactly comfortable rest, but it'll be rest none the same. There's just this uncomfortable feeling per se that you all have of being out in the wilderness, and the fact that you've found out that there's probably undead roaming the countryside around here. There's just an unease that sort of settles over the whole camp as a whole, as you sort of everyone, but who would take the first watch is the question.
So I would take first or last watch because I'm
Yes.
a caster. I need 8 hours. So I'd probably just go first if that's all right, guys.
Yep. Yeah. So
I'll spell her.
So as everybody else settles in for their night of rest, Kara taking the first watch of the evening, and just as you're sitting there, playing with Floxy a little bit and watching the fire, there's just all the sounds of the night seem to get louder and louder before it's all just there as a cacophony of insects and birds and the odd howl of a wolf off into the distance, and a general unease and a weight sits in the bottom of your stomach as there's just something off about the darkness now. And that is where the chaos ends for this episode. Stay tuned for more adventures next time.